Alright, picking up left off last video, I'm sorry I had to stop because I had to go out to eat. But now I'm back. So, I mentioned last video was first part of this thing I basically was going to discuss. This is book 2, so here we go. We have She-Hulk Epic Collection Volume 3. Now, there was one graphic novel released prior to this series clicking here, and it's not in the trade. I thought it was. Apparently it is not here. I'll have your review at some point. It was Marvel graphic novel number 18, which is called The Sensational She-Hulk, written and drawn by John Byrne, who does the issues in here. So, this book collects the first 12 issues of Sensational She-Hulk, the first 8 of whom are written and drawn by John Byrne himself. The others is like Steve Gerber, and I think Peter David. It also collects She-Hulk The Ceremony, material from Salvage Soul Avengers number 4, Marvel Comics number 18, and Marvel Fanfare 48. Now, I knew Marvel Fanfare 48 because this was technically, in a way, along with Soul Avengers, probably one of the 2 solo appearances that She-Hulk made between the end of her ongoing series, first one, and this one. The first one is simply put written by Chris Claremont. Yes. This is from Soul Avengers number 14. Yes. So, excuse me. So, written by Chris Claremont, art by Alan Davis. It is, simply put, She-Hulk trying to do a case. And her being constantly interrupted to deal with an emergency. There's a funny bit here where she changes that telephone as a nod to Superman. And what's the emergency? Titania should have basically caused trouble. And this caused several times. And eventually the judge decided to go home for the day because basically she kept getting interrupted. It's like, yep, we have basically And then the Markham Presents issue, which is just She-Hulk, it's called Christmas Tease. It's her being bored on Christmas and basically having a thing guest star here. So she's so bored, she beats up Doctor Doom, Magneto, and freaking Galactus. And then this leads into her solo book. First 8 issues, like I mentioned, are written and drawn by John Byrne. He does not come back to book into issue number 31. Why the heck he was gone for so long, I have no idea. So, book is called Second Chance. It's basically She-Hulk where she's lifting up. It's her basically, the first issue here is let's have her get brainwashed by the circus of crime just like her cousin did. I guess John Byrne figured though, why not? Also, Princess Python returns to the circus. There's also reference here to Grey Hulk. Yep. So she becomes brainwashed and she's part of the circus for 1 issue. And so apparently, the ringmaster was hired by this mysterious employer. And then, the first issue ends with her with the appearance here by the Headmen, a group of villains from the pages of Defenders, made up of Gorilla Man number 2, Ruby Tuesday, that's her name. It has nothing to do with the restaurant. Dr. Nigel, and a Vulture. Yes, that is seriously what we have. And it's ooh, let's have basically fight Toadmen. Yes, so we have another revisit from a classic Hulk story, versus the Ringmaster of Crime, the Circus of Crime, who debuted back in issue 6, and now the Toadmen. And this book also has the debut of She-Hulk's apartment that will pretty much spread this whole series. This is nice, very nice looking apartment with this very good looking couch. I love this couch. And I'm looking at this apartment okay, where's your TV, She-Hulk? Where would you put it? That's a really good question. Where would you put your TV? Well, it's 80s. Probably don't think of TV, but yeah. So yeah, the head. By the way, Ruby Tuesday does this thing in this book where her ruby head does basically arm gestures. And then she fights Toadmen, who apparently are guys in suits. And she tries to know who the heck they are. And of course, they destroy her sweater. Oh, she's got a bra underneath because she's a woman. A hot woman. Yes. Did you know at one point that Frank Miller thought She-Hulk was a porn star. Yep, he said that once. He thought She-Hulk was a porn star. Yep. After Mysterious Toadman, and then she tangles up with Mysterio. You're thinking, what? Yep, and the whole thing is like, ooh, we're going to basically take off She-Hulk's head. And we get appearance here by Spider-Man in issue 3. Now, if you don't remember, he did not appear in the first series, but he appeared in this one. So I guess John Byrne felt as though, hey, why the heck not? So yeah. Now here's the question. Now there's also this. There's this older lady. Yeah, and then we have. Oh, and then we have She-Hulk apparently swapping bodies. Yeah, this woman, her name is Louise, and she comes to play a little bit later. Yeah, it was like, oh, we're gonna have basically, yeah. So, excuse me. Issue 4 has an appearance in here, supposedly by the Blonde Phantom. Who is the Blonde Phantom, I'd ask? A Golden Age superhero that I barely know anything about. She appeared a handful of times in the 40s, and this book was practically her return to comics. Yeah. One thing I also forgot to mention here about this book. She-Hulk does not go back to Jennifer Walters the entire series. Yeah, this was a period of time, from what I've read, that she was stuck in She-Hulk form. And she was like this whole series. And apparently she's working for not some law firm. She's working for the district attorney's office. And district attorney is a guy by the name of Blake Tower. A guy who was elected back in the 70s. And was DA up until very recently. I think he never was removed. Yes. Nearly 50 years being the DA. And no mention was ever removed. Mentioned weed stuff and then Louise Grant. Apparently she was a secretary to Mark Mason, being the Blonde Phantom. Yeah. Moving on to shoot. And then we have She-Hulk fighting Stiltman in her underwear. Why not? And then we have briefly her get buried on the ground. Then fighting to the frickin' subway, and then Louise just dreaming that because she is basically the Blonde Phantom, though she's a bit older now. Yeah, then of course then we have for some reason She-Hulk catching Wilbur Day, which normally he's shown his hair a little bit older, but yeah, that's Wilbur Day. That's Wilbur Day, the Stilt Man. Oh yeah, and there's a joke with Comical Authority because she's a fourth wall breaker. And basically puts her thing there, and then, Doctor is in, and we have Stargazed. Yeah, then we have She-Hulk apparently on the cover here, like, it's a ripoff of the Flintstones. Why not? Yeah, basically, this is She-Hulk countering Dr. Bong. A Howard the Duck villain. Yeah, apparently Howard the Duck became a recurring character in Sensational She-Hulk after the cancellation of his ongoing series. Now, why in the world they decided to do this for? And then RoboCop shows up, and you're thinking, wait a minute, what the heck is RoboCop doing in a Marvel comic? Okay, there is an explanation for this. The explanation is that Marvel was the first company to publish basically RoboCop, and my guess is John Byrne probably felt this out. Hey, we have this comic, why not have RoboCop make a guest appearance in She-Hulk? Because he's a fourth breaker. I mean, why the heck not? I mean, he doesn't act like him, but yeah, it's RoboCop. Yep. Yeah. And then, of course, her tear out the page. Big Bug Comics is funny. And we have this mysterious woman who's basically hanging out with is it Howard? I don't know. Yeah, then basically in issue 6, it's her meeting the cast of US-1. Issue called Star Truck. Yeah, this was also the third to last issue that John Byrne wrote and drew for this series for a while because he left the book. Not sure why. Yep, so, yeah, then she hops on a space shuttle, and then we see Big Pig, which of course we originally got us here. Yeah, and like, oh, there's a big pig here, and then the shuttle gets taken, or she gets around the space shuttle. And then she runs into Razorback. Now, those of you not familiar with this character, they of course reference the fact in this book that, oh yeah, you teamed up with Spider-Man. Yeah, that was basically back in the late 70s, in the first year of Peter Parker to Spider-Man. Excellent storyline where he teamed with this guy. And I think this actually was his return. Yeah, looking for hijackers? No, it's him. Yeah, then pretty much basically then she runs the cast of US-1 in this book. Yes, the cast of US-1. And US-1's basically in space. And leads into appearance by Zemu. Yes, Zemu. A character who fought the Defenders and also fought the Hulk several times over the years. Yeah. His most recent appearance was in Immortal Hulk, which was really good, by the way. So it's like, okay, so John Byrne brought back Zemu for his penultimate issue for this first run in this book. Yep. And then for his last issue, it's like, oh, let's have it where basically we have Ryan in a space car back to Earth, dealing with her mail, and then Hangout looks like a version of Hercules with gray skin. Yeah, it's an oddball issue. And then like, oh, we're going to keep this humor up next issue? Nope, John Byrne leaves the book after only 8 issues. If you're going to ask why the heck he left, I have no idea. And then issue 9, we have basically She-Hulk fighting Madcap. A character who, at one point, well, yeah, this guy has fought Captain America, and of course he was kind of almost the arch nemesis of Deadpool during Gary Duggan's run. As a matter of fact, the one way Deadpool got rid of him was basically put him in space. Yeah, so for this issue, issue 9, we have Richard Starking and George and Gregory Wright with, get this artwork of this issue is done by Brian Hitch. You're thinking, wait a minute, Brian Hitch. That name sounds familiar. Didn't he do some books in the 2000s with Mark Millar? Yep, he did. He is currently the writer of Redcoat. Yep, if you want to think of other books he worked on, what books he worked on? Ultimates 1, 2. I believe he worked on Ultimate Avengers 1 through 3. There's also JLA, Just Like America, which I have asked him what the heck was up with the delays of the book. I think he said something like editorial interference, I think it was. That's the reason for the delays. And, of course, he did run Justice League for 30 issues, though he knew all the issues. So, yeah. So, the Madcap here. Of course, she beats the crap out of Madcap. And then just... And then she just rips up panel, puts trash can, and burns it, and proceeds. Then we have the right artist draw basically her being chased by a rhino. And then we have her, in issue 10, we have Steve Gerber. And the whole issue is basically reporters just want to interview her, and her not being interested, and that's the whole thing with issue number 9. This is issue 10. Yeah, issue 10. So, that's kind of the gist of issue 10. Issue 11, which, by the way, I love the font. It's a clear nod to Adventures of Superman. Besides, man, I think I might know the reason why John Byrne stopped doing this book after 8 issues. My guess is because he basically got the writing chores on Superman. Well, most of the point, he did Superman Volume 2, and I believe he did Action Comics. He did not do Avengers Superman. That was Mark Holman originally. Then he eventually did the book himself. Yeah, Superman is basically a Superman ripoff. And by the way, this is issue number 11. And this is also done by Steve Gerber and Brian Hitch. Yes. And don't worry, next time we talk about She-Hulk, I'll be talking about the infamous issue 13. There's a story behind that the cover for that issue. Oh boy. So, then we have a version of Superman and a ripoff of Lex Luthor. Well, you could say they're a pastiche of the characters. You could say this is Steve Gurr poking fun of John Byrne's Superman. That's kind of what this issue is. And then we have, X-Men Assemble, which basically is a joke issue where it's written by Peter David. The whole thing is She-Hulk the movie. Yeah, and then for some strange reason, we have the taxi from Who Framed Roger Rabbit appear here. You're thinking, what the heck is this? Why in the world is the taxi from Who Framed Roger Rabbit here? You're probably going to ask, did Marvel publish a comic for Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Not that I know of. They did publish RoboCop. It's a comedy issue, and and again we have her fighting Orca. Yes, frickin' Orca. And then apparently, the whole thing was a ploy by, it was Ming the Merciless. I'm like, Ming the Merciless. Holy cow, it's Ming the Merciless. Nope, I'm Krang of Atlantis. Or I should also say, Krang, Namor's arch nemesis, along with Atoma. Which I love the whole Ming the Merciless thing. That's why Peter David basically dropping a nod to Flash Gordon. That was funny. And then we have the Marvel Fanfare issue, which I'm sure this is set before this, but this came out. This is written by Dwight John Zimmerman with Carrie Gimmel. It's basically She-Hulk just posing and just. It's mostly She-Hulk dealing with wrestlers. That's mostly exactly what this book is. What this issue is. Yeah. It's a okay story. And then we have, I think the Smartcom presents this one. It's called California Dreaming. This is done by Sue Flexman. It is mostly put just She-Hulk, just a day in She-Hulk's life. It's a bunch of random things. It appears by the Hulk for some reason. And then we have the two-parter She-Hulk The Ceremony, which before this trade, I had never read this book at all. This is written by the late Dwayne McDuffie, artwork by Robin Coupling, which I love. Also Dwayne McDuffie's art, but this artwork is so freaking good. Gene Bergman does the artwork. It's just so good. Wow. And the weird thing is, I don't think this miniseries was ever collected before this Epic Collection came out. Nope, it is just read the book. It just pure, the artwork is just so gorgeous to look at. It's just a She-Hulk book without the breaking the fourth wall stuff, appearing by the Thing. It's like a regular standard fare for She-Hulk. It's almost like you read this book, it's like what She-Hulk could have been if it was for the fourth wall breaking. It's a very serious two-issue miniseries. And that's pretty much it talking about this book. The book, like I said, it's really good. No bad issue here. I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Yep. I would do more, but I got a stream to do. So I'll see you all later if I get time to do another one. Okay? See you. Bye. Also be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit this like button.